My micro time frame analysis yesterday said that overnight Bitcoin would not get above this white line. Clearly it did. It even used it as support, made a lower high, now is below it after this orange line, which is traditional market open. So it came down right as traditional markets open. I thought Bitcoin would go down before traditional markets open and then come back up, but the opposite happened. So in today's food for thought episode, my two Satoshis that I'm going to throw at you is when you get something wrong, in which I stated I'm confident it won't get above here. So whenever that happens to you, and you're confident about something and it doesn't happen, you need to go back and find out, what did I miss? So during my morning chat with my Discord VIPs for a futures workshop, I think I found what I missed. So I want to cover that with you so you can get in the habit of, hey, when you're wrong, it's not the market's wrong, you are wrong. And it's just a key of the idea is you miss something. So I found what I missed. I'm going to share it with you. But also, even though I got one thing wrong, I did get something right from my yesterday's analysis. So it wasn't too bad. Ethereum can pop up to 1595 or even 1620 when Bitcoin doesn't. All right, and if you could take a look here at what Ethereum did, that wasn't too bad. Look at where Ethereum got up to here. Let's make this right there, and Ethereum got up to 1620 exactly. So I got the main thing though, I did get wrong in yesterday's analysis, but this one I kind of nailed it on the head with Ethereum because there's a very obvious spot. So let's dive in. Let me show you what I missed. Here we go. I'm going to go to my Bitcoin chart. This is what I have included for my daily update for my community. So before I jump into what I got wrong, in general terms, if price is below roughly 20,160 labeled here, if it's below it, you're going to be leaning micro time frame bearish. And again, this is not weekly signals or anything. This is just the rest of the day leading into tomorrow. So like a lead, it gives you a hint at what's going to happen over the next 48 hours or so, right? It doesn't guarantee anything. It's simply any snapshot in time. If Bitcoin is below this pivot point, you're going to be leaning micro time frame bearish. But just realize that's why I say leaning bearish, because this origin line here is going to offer some support. So it could just come down over here and then blast back up and come all the way back up to 20,700, which is a level I think Bitcoin would have some trouble with. Yes, it's going to have to get above that with some pretty heavy volume because that's a mid macro horizontal up there. Therefore, you can snapshot this and essentially, roughly have what I gave daily update today. For the community, because I really can't tell what's getting ready to happen in the markets, but I'm leaning midterm time frame bearish for sure and very confidently, but micro time frame, I can't tell. I don't have a great lead over what's going to happen in the next 48 hours. So these four zones, very bearish under the origin line, leaning bearish under 20,160, neutral under this pivot point of daily candle. So if you put on the daily chart, you have three daily candles all lining. So I think two are openings and one is a closure, one green closure and two red candles where it opened and then went down. This is a very important line. So if it's below here but above the 20,100, you have a small neutral zone. And if this white line, so you might want to throw this line on your chart, especially this dotted one. If Bitcoin can use this as support, so if I can get myself out of the way here, if it can use it as support, which it did once back here, you're gonna be looking for this to be broken, and looking for Bitcoin to come up into this box. That's probably what you're gonna be looking for. So this is a pretty important line. And if you had two most important lines, it would be the neutral zone line labeled here and this origin line for which I gave the coordinates yesterday specifically. So if you missed my yesterday's video, I gave you the exact coordinates on how to draw that origin line on your chart, even though that line goes 13 years back, but I show you how to do it and you can just extend it 13 years back. All right, so let me make myself small again. And if you're not following me on Twitter, it's Cosasverdes with the number 2. I post some bomb charts and alerts on there. And the YouTube Cryptillion tier specifically, if you want to check out what it's about, there's a join button right below here. And another 90-second video that's kind of comical will pop up and describe what it offers. But it's similar to what the Discord community offers. Links to that in the description section. However, it's minus the live interaction with me using camera and microphone type of stuff on Discord. You get more recordings and the daily JPEG updates of the traditional traditional markets, Ethereum and Bitcoin, up to 3 times a day. It's often 1 to 3 times a day, 6 to 7 days a week. All right, here we go. What did I get wrong? Why was I so confident that Bitcoin would not get above this pivot point overnight? So I made that video and that incorrect guess around here. Maybe, yeah, it was around this point here. That's when I was doing my live stream and I recorded my Bitcoin portion of it. Why was I so confident? Because I had the feel for the charts that Bitcoin in general was underperforming the stock market, right? And the stock market is going to keep climbing down, crawling down slowly. It's going to have a point where it's going to accelerate, but it's down slowly right now. And with the idea that in general, and over the last month and a half, maybe actually the last like 90 days, Bitcoin has generally over those 90 days been underperforming the market. So I thought, well, if markets are closed and things are down, the futures aren't going to race up overnight, most likely, because off-hours traders aren't going to want to like pump things and get their butts kicked the next morning. So I thought with those two things combined, the general stock market's down, Bitcoin trades directly with it. I mean, almost 5-minute candle per 5-minute candle. And I just thought Bitcoin's not going to go over here. So where I went wrong is I was playing off the feel of a 90-day time frame, which is actually accurate. But where I went wrong was there has been a small pivot in the last week that Bitcoin has been outperforming the market mildly. And what I needed to do, which I had not done, but I did during today's futures workshop that we do at 8 a.m., 8:15 a.m. New York time, Wednesday through Friday, is that I graphed it. So I don't have to get the feel for it. I don't have to feel Bitcoin outperforming, underperforming, and I'm going to show you that chart. I'm not going to necessarily show you how to do it. That was for my VIPs in Discord, but if you're savvy with TradingView, you'll be able to see on the chart like what I did. If you know what to look for. So just a heads up, I don't know how to avoid that. So if you're savvy with TradingView, you'll be able to see what I did, so you can then honestly copy it. So here we go. So I was going with a feel for 90 days, and this is essentially a map of Bitcoin versus S&P 500. And so the rule is whenever this chart is in so I'm on the 1 hour chart. See up there where it says one, you can barely see it, like by my, like right here, where I'm the small guy over here. See, it says 1 hour. I'm on the 1 hour chart. If you're in a 1 hour uptrend, then particularly at nighttime, Bitcoin has a better chance of floating up. That's just the way it is. If it's outperforming the stock market on a 1 hour uptrend, higher highs, higher lows, which it generally had. See, I mean, that's honestly a pretty bullish shape. It looks like it's going to go a lot higher. But right, yeah, it looks like it could. This is a bullish formation. And that's what I got wrong. I was going with a feel too midterm or a little too macro, and I wasn't correctly getting the feel for what has been happening. Let's look at the dates behind me here. So I especially had one pivot just 3 days ago, right? So it spent 3 days in a downtrend of the 1 hour and then 3 days in an uptrend. But the bigger pivot was down here. I'm just drawing stupid stuff on my chart here. The bigger pivot was right here, and that date was August 20th, 11 days ago. So for the last 11 days, Bitcoin has roughly been outperforming the stock market with an exception of 3 days from here to here, right? So had I known this, I wouldn't have made that guess, but it's a darn good thing during the video I said I'm highly confident it's not going to go over this what, and then I said wait, let me be more careful. I'm confident it won't get over this white line. So I'm glad I stopped myself, but I never would have said that had I known that I could create this chart to essentially get the pivot points on when Bitcoin is starting to outperform the market. If you look, if I zoom out here, you can see what I had been feeling the last night. I mean, maybe even longer than 90 days. I mean, just take a look, particularly from this guy right here. And that was October of 2021. More like this one, this pivot right here. This is a pivot. So since April, okay, so that's all of August, July, June, No, that's more like 120 days. So this is the feel I had for Bitcoin, which was right. Bitcoin has been so especially since, here it was with the market, ups and downs, just sideways movement, roughly moving with the stock market. But since May 1st, roughly, this is roughly May 1st, about 100-ish days ago. Actually, I can just 120 days, 123. The feeling I got, the reason I had that level of confidence is because I was getting this feeling. But where I messed up is I needed to zoom in to see, hey, is there any pivot point back on the 1 hour chart? Because if there is, if you have higher highs and higher lows, then Bitcoin not only has permission to float up at night and outperform whatever the futures are doing on while spot trading is closed on traditional markets. If this is an uptrend, it has permission to go up. And that's essentially what I missed. This was a weird, so typically when I'm wrong about something and that I'm confident about, you don't have to create a new chart. This was a weird one because there was really nothing in the chart that would say, hey, whales are going to move this up to get people out of their stops at night. I didn't see it in the charts. And the only thing that maybe I did say from the chart was during the beginning of my last video, during the recorded section of that live stream, I said, sometimes whales take it up to the 4 hour 21 instead of the 4 hour 10 for the rejection point, right? To take out stops. So I haven't actually mapped this out. So let's look to see if what it hit was the 4 hour 21, if it got like a failure pattern above it or whatever. So I'm going to go to the 15-minute chart. And I will throw on another MTF EMA indicator, and I will make that I will make a big yellow line, and I will make it the 4 hour 21. Let's see what it did here. Did it get above it? It got above both of them. Damn. So yeah, I was just straight up wrong. I was just straight up incorrect. And the way I could have visualized that is with that chart I made. So typically when I'm wrong, it's more from structural analysis, or I missed an EMA, or I simply missed momentum plays, something to that effect, or I missed a pivot point, or I just straight up ignored higher highs and higher lows on a specific time frame like the 1 hour. But this time it was a more interesting play where I needed to get better micro feel or midterm micro feel for Bitcoin's performance versus the stock market. So hopefully you've enjoyed this, but the whole point of this video is when you get something wrong, when you're confident, right? When you're confident, you need to find out what it was, because I'm telling you, there's always something there. There's always something there. And it was very statistically unlikely that Bitcoin came above the 4 hour 10 and 21. After a sharp move down right here. It honestly it's not probable at all. It's among the easiest plays in crypto that even if it's not a huge dump, if it's a sharp move down that separates price from the under the 4 hour 10 and 4 hour 21, the first move up, it is like it's over 60% hit rate that it either hits its head on the 4 hour 10 or on the 4 hour 21. And then it comes back down for lower lows. It's a very, very high hit rate. And so let's say it's 70% hit rate. But using the chart that I made up, I can now identify when there's a greater chance that 30% plays out. So I can finesse this bitch essentially, right? And again, if you are a basic crypto biatch who checks price on CoinMarketCap, remember, I provide live charts so you can literally see what's behind me. And you can go to just click on my live video to see where price is per my levels at any time. So you can have an understanding, okay, where is price hitting on the key levels that Cosasverdes is thinking about? And you can just check my chart instead of making up your own chart or looking at CoinMarketCap. And this will give you a better feel. And Monday through Friday, I only have that available for my Discord community and the Cryptillion tier of the YouTube tiers, and then Friday through Sunday I make it open to YouTube. So if that's something you're looking forward to, and you can either join Discord, or you can and again, links to that in the description section, or you can become a Cryptillion YouTube tier member. Go ahead and click this video right here if you want some futures trading tips that you won't find anywhere else if you're new to trying to trade with futures, and click this video right here if you want to see yesterday's Ethereum analysis where I said it could hit 1620, and so you can have an idea of what's going to happen with Ethereum price afterward. You just got Timified Worldwide.